All right, Nick, let's talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. I think there's a lot of interesting news coming out of the Bengals, and we're going to get into a story today. It's a really big overarching theme over the last couple of years, ever since the draft of Joe Burrow. The Bengals has kind of had a change of mentality, and we'll get into that here in just a moment. But I really think if you follow the breadcrumbs and look at where this all is leading up to, Bengal fans are really going to like what's going on.
Yeah, and speaking of things Bengals fans are really going to like, this is a franchise that's storied. A lot of people don't know how successful this franchise really is. It goes back to obviously Bill Walsh was involved. You had the Ken Anderson days, Boomer Esiason through the 80s, of course, Andy Dalton, Carson Palmer, and now, of course, the Joe Burrow era. A lot of great Bengals throughout history. But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. Give us who you think the quintessential Cincinnati Bengal is, the guy who embodies everything that's good about being part of the Bengals football team. And let us know who that guy is in the comment section below. All right, Miles, what you got? What's this breadcrumbs leading out of Cincinnati?
Well, Nick, before we get there, I'll say not necessarily the guy that I think is a quintessential Bengal, but the Bengal that always sticks out in my mind is the law firm Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. I always liked his time with the team. He was a very interesting player. But getting back to this breadcrumbs I was talking about, you can go wind things all the way back to last season when the Bengals have invested money in building an indoor practice facility, something that is necessary in Ohio. It is very cold there during the winter. It is nice to have an indoor practice facility. And this is something that traditionally the old Bengals leadership did not do. But now they're kind of changing their tune. They're going out and they're investing a little bit more in the team. And that takes us up to today, going into a massive facelift, as it is called, of the training facility, the training room facility for the Bengals, the players, and is going along with their efficient player mentality, Nick. They want to streamline all of the assets for the players to make things more efficient, to make their personal or health and fitness go from one to practice to this to that to that. They want everything to run smoothly. They want to get the most bang for their buck out of everything, and this is just something that the Bengals of old didn't really do. And then you say, okay, well, they're spending money on the stadium. They're spending money in the training room. How does that relate to anything? How is that going anywhere? Well, you look forward. What is the next thing that they're going to do? They have to invest into Joe Burrow. And I think all of
Yep.
these breadcrumbs are kind of showing the Bengals are wanting to invest money into this team. They kind of see what they have and they don't want to squander it. What do you think about that idea, Nick?
Yeah, you're 100% right on the money, Mike. So people, and I'm sure a lot of viewers who work in corporate America, there is a trend that follows. Big companies, corporations, frankly, small businesses do it too, but it's just not to the same scale. The first thing you invest in when you're expanding your business, when you're looking to really grow your imprint, which is the Bengals trying to grow. They're trying to grow into being an elite team, an elite franchise, top flight franchise in football. You invest in infrastructure, right? What does a big company do? They buy another plant, they buy another factory, right? They expand, they go to a bigger building, but you have to do the infrastructure first. And every single corporation does that. And there's reasons to do that. A lot of it has to do with accounting and finance and things like that. We won't get into the nitty gritty of it, but that's always the first step. And people forget sometimes these football teams, these franchises are essentially big corporations. They act and handle and are categorically the same thing. So the very first thing you do when you expand is you don't put money into people. Or I think how weird that would be if like a company wanted to expand and say, all right, we're going to hire 500 assembly line workers. You hire them up. I'm like, okay, now we got to build an assembly line for them. No, it's the other way around, right? You invest in the infrastructure, you invest in the facilities, things like that, and then you invest in the people. That is the step every company takes when it's trying to grow and expand. And that's exactly what the Bengals are doing here. You brought up the breadcrumbs, Miles. I love that analogy because if you follow the breadcrumbs or more frankly, follow the money, you can see the trend that the Bengals are investing in the infrastructure. They're investing in their facilities. They are expanding like any big business would be. And what does that mean? Once they complete this infrastructure step, that means they have to and will invest in people. And that means big dollars for Joe Burrow. So right now, Bengals fans, I'm sure they're maybe a little bit concerned when you see the Lamar Jackson situation, right? Whoa, are we going to have any issues with Burrow? Are we going to have problems with locking up that contract and making sure everything works out well? Because obviously Joe Burrow, if Cincinnati, you don't want him gone up for very obvious reasons. I don't think it'll be a problem because of the fact that the Bengals are investing already in the infrastructure. That means they're preparing, they're laying the groundwork to put in big dollars, whatever it takes to invest in people, because that's what big businesses do. And I think this is a great sign for the Bengals locking up Joe Burrow in the very short term.
Yeah, no, they're gonna lock him up. It's not gonna be a problem. I think Burrow, out of the recent contracts, you think Derek Carr, you think Geno Smith, you think Daniel Jones, and now the Lamar Jackson tag. Burrow has been more successful than all of those quarterbacks combined. He's probably won
course,
more
yeah.
playoff games than all of them combined. He really seems like a guy, like he said, his Super Bowl window is always open. And I think that they're going full force. But I also, you look at the comments from the past, Nick, their teammates and people saying, Joe Burrow, he wants to keep the band together. He's not looking to break the bank. And I'm not saying that he's not going to get top dollar, because he is.
Yeah.
But he's not the guy to be like, I have to have $250 million fully guaranteed. He's going to do more team friendly, cap friendly deal like that. I'm saying down the road that he wants to keep all the pieces together. Burrow seems like a pretty nice level headed guy. I don't foresee him wanting anything too crazy.